What's up, everybody? This is Yogi Chris, PhD, founder of Ninth Limb Yoga and captain of IMC Nation. I live here at Base 1 in Campbell, California. This is the last episode that I'm recycling from the Science of Peace podcast. So all the other episodes, they're gone. So if you didn't watch them, didn't listen to them, you missed out. There was over 100 episodes on that show, and I recycled 8 of them. This is the last one that I'm recycling. It was one of the top ranking on the show. And it was, in my opinion, one of the most helpful, if not the most helpful, as far as like educating yourself, if you're a listener, on the story you tell yourself and how you're talking to yourself and how that's influencing your reality, your destiny, your decisions, your emotions, your mood. You know, I go in and out of the subject throughout the episode, and I think it's a very helpful episode. So when you hear me refer to Science of Peace throughout the episode, it's because Science of Peace was the show that I recorded it for. But this is Enlightened Masculinity, the red pill of all red pills. This is that show. So subscribe, follow, leave a review, whatever you can do on whatever app you're listening to it on. And I hope you enjoy. What's up, everybody? Science of Peace. This is the story you tell yourself. I'm Yogi Chris, PhD, founder of Ninth Limb Yoga. We're broadcasting from San Jose, California, and this is entertainment. Hopefully, though, by the end of this episode, you'll have a little bit greater awareness of your ego, your mind, what that is, and what that is not, and what to do about it. So, we'll shout out to my teacher, Arasa Pardibazar, who I live with here at Base 1 Temple. Shout out to Base 1 Temple and headquarters right now of Ninth Limb Yoga that sponsors this podcast. So the story you tell yourself, I came across this idea of, what you watched over and over as a kid, maybe, or if you read a book over and over as a kid. If anything you do over and over is going to lay a pattern down, right? If you read the same thing over and over like a script, if you're a salesperson, you'll get better. An actor, you'll get better. A waitress, you'll get better if you just do it over and over. A baseball player, like whatever. And if you do it over and over younger, it lays it down in a way that's just like it almost takes more effort maybe later on in life. Or there's something about learning, like a lot of these famous composers and whatnot were, maybe they had innate talent, but they were also pigeonholed into a sense of a thing, of a topic of study and practice, that's what they had to do. They didn't know how to do anything else. And you lay down that framework, whatever you did over and over, like it does something. Now, what you can it's called alchemy, like change the energies, change what was into something, recreate, and let it go through the furnace and make it anew, reforge it. This is what we do with our behaviors, because your destiny in life is the result of your behaviors. That's just what it is. That's why when I see people mating, I can tell their destiny, because I know those behaviors because I study them. They're an actual code of things that you study. Now you can, and distinguish like a study of external sources from personal experiences also. And so there's 3 ways to learn: is through personal experience, through the testimony of someone else, or similar to the testimony of someone else is like writings or, a teaching, basically. If there was the Bible is testimony of something, but personal experience is most senior. And a testimony of someone you trust is more senior than a book or something. Given that you trust them, you should trust the people you're around. If not, then come to Ninth Limb. And you should be trustworthy, and we'll decide if you are. And if you are, then you've met your tribe. And if you're not that that's the only qualifier, but that's good enough to get in the door and see what's next, right? Speaking of which, we have yoga retreat happening here in San Jose, April 9, 10, 11. That's next month. That's in about 4 weeks, I think. A little less than 4, 26 days or so. So that's happening. It's very exciting. Message me on Instagram, Yoga Bliss Chris, one word, Yoga Bliss Chris, to get in communication with me. And of course, subscribe and follow this podcast wherever you find it. So the story you tell yourself, if we listen to, I watched 3 Ninjas over and over and over and over. Like I used to brag, it was like 27 times or something. I watched it 3 times in one day once. And I remember later in life watching movies over and over, but not to that extent. Like I remember I watched The Darjeeling Limited twice in one day, which that attention span as a grown man, you try it. But Three Ninjas as a boy. So what was that story about? I mean, I don't know how important that is. Now I'll unfold that in the episodes to come. Another movie I watched over and over, I remember was, I think it's called Pete's Dragon. I'll need to look up this thing. I might just be... so there was a 1977 version. Let's see what the cover looks like. I don't know. I think that's it, actually. Yes. Boom. Pete's Dragon, the old version, 1977 version. So I saw it. I forget what's in the story, what's in the movie of it, but I'm sure that laid an impression. What experiences did I go through? What emotions did it take me through? What language did I receive? What symbols did I receive? Whatever. And so that becomes a thing that it's like a groove. You go down that way again. You just go down that way. And it's cause and effect. It's a universal cause and effect. So, decoding the energies, decoding the experiences. We use words, and communication is the way out. It's words and communication, which is also internally, the mindset. The story you tell yourself becomes the story you express. And that's what people respond to. They're responding to your story. And, of course, the image and how you portray yourself and how you sound and how you feel, because that's just expressing how you feel about yourself and what you think about yourself. It's all part of the story. You're dressed like the character in your story. And as we talk about this, it brings awareness to it because it makes you very impersonal to yourself, because yourself is separate from the story. You're not the story. And so you should be impersonal. You are actually an impersonal entity. Non-entity, whatever. You're an impersonal viewpoint of a person, a persona. And you can gain experience of this separation of your, unbiased, unpolluted, central viewpoint, vantage point within you from your persona. That's what yoga practices do. That's what you come to the silent flute, or you learn specific yoga techniques that induce an experience within you that brings your mind to ease, brings your body to ease. And as the internal waters of your emotions, your mind, body, emotions is a communication between the two. As this whole system settles, you're able to see deeper. And with the proper instruction, you can see from the vantage point that sees the depth. How do you know it's deeper? Who's looking at the depth within that you're going? There's always a viewer that seems to not change as you change depth within yourself, that you introspect. That is the self that can only be talked about because it's not a thing. It's just a view. And to the level that you can go with your mind, there's always a viewer that's separate from it. So there's nothing, you're never going to come to an idea or a conclusion that is you. You're always the viewer of it, right? And so the visceral, like I can be magical with my words all day, but you're just mentally toying with yourself if you don't come to the silent flute, because you want the visceral practices, the physical practices that create the internal ecosystem, the internal environment for you to experience. Yoga is an experience. And then you carry the art and practice of communication is how do you carry your yoga experience to the world? Because we can't all just be like caved up doing yoga, breathing, stretching, meditating all day. We're the yoga of communication. This is ninth limb. So create the yoga experience. We're yogis, but then it's in the world. That's what we do. This is what we do. This is me. I do this. Okay. So that's that. Is there any burning questions? So the story you tell yourself, right, is very important, because that's what going to shape your attitude and your emotions day to day. And it comes out as your language. You don't know how you're talking to yourself. You're narrating life to yourself. And usually in a and a lot of negativities. And it does depress your own systems, all your systems, literally, like autoimmune and everything. It's self-talk. It is. And wow, what a way to change one's destiny, to really change the symbols that one's mind has been patterned with. And just so you change how you talk with yourself, you change how you talk with others. And it's literally just the words you filled your head with, your head is filled with, which a lot of it, like the idea, again, it's what movies did you watch over and over and over as a kid? Maybe a book you read over and over, TV over and over, and you just get awareness of it because you drop it. You're not that. We're the alchemists. We change the patterns. The behaviors is the code in the ether. It's what God sees within, is what decisions are you making, really? And those will accumulate, and you got to have some grit if you want to change your destiny, because that's how you earn it, really. That's what it is. All right. So any questions or comments at all? I didn't see anything come in, maybe on YouTube. I see Drew Hadsel just commented something. Let's see YouTube. Nothing over here. We got Octavia waving. Congratulations, Octavia, for being the first to wave. You have won. I'll wave back. Drew Hadsel. He says, I had a realization yesterday about all this, seeing it from a perspective that I'm actually only living in a way that's reflecting just the information that I think is following me in the present moment. Yes, you are a reflection of your experiences, your accumulated experiences, and to the degree that you are unconscious. And consciousness is what, and then how much consciousness and how much can you take back and reclaim. And you just set your sight on your goals. You just go for your goals and make yourself into the right set of behaviors for that, so that the universe has to give it to you, right? And this is what we do in the Silent Flute. So thank you all for arriving. Right? And that was good. Sign up, click all the links in the description for this, and I'll see you in the Silent Flute. Namaste. From the viewpoint within me to the empty viewpoint within you. Namaste.
Do you see what's purple outside? I was really curious.